Hi there everyone, this is Leah from Steps to Change, and how are you tonight? It's Monday night, it's the first day of the financial year for us in Australia. Rather exciting in many ways, and I know I sometimes harp a little bit, but when you think about the meaning of a financial transition, it means that we can literally close the books on the past and we can create new ones. And something that was really mulling over the weekend for me, and because I was doing my tax, is simply if money is an energy form, it's just another representation that we have of our energies, our belief systems. So sometimes when we get irked around about having to pay something, or we don't get enough money, or we need to consolidate and we're having our wins around our money, I suggest that you also dig deeper and deeper and deeper to find out the actual meaning of what you're feeling around that particular transaction. Big thing, money is only another representation of what you're seeing yourself to be. Okay, this might seem a bit of a wide statement to do. However, just think about it. You know, when things come up around money, what is the deeper feelings around you or the situation or what it represents, or maybe a memory from your childhood, all the complexities of that. And today, when I was creating a few different things, and one of the books I'm reading at the moment again is, in fact, if you can see it, is The Happiness Trap. Now, this book has been around for a good 10-15 years, and it's a very interesting book because it does challenge our ideas around what happiness is. And I think in many ways we do buy into the hope or the expectation of always being happy, and we know that doesn't work. We know we all have bad days. We all have experiences where life just doesn't work at that instant, or we feel that we're so overwhelmed at different times, and overwhelm and happiness cannot work on the same page. It's just like having night and dark. Night and morning, it becomes dusk. You know, there's always that grey line that is created. So we cannot have one and the other at the same time without changing the perception of what's going on in the moment. Now, one particular chapter was actually chapter 1 that caught my eye as I was reading through it. There's 4 myths that Ross Harris talks about as being the 4 myths of happiness. And I was reading through, making notes and things. And when we think about how much have we brought into the idea, and you know, it's true, we have books, we have movies, we have Disney, we have sometimes really high expectations about what our life should be, and all those external messages that we've taken on from the movies, the books, you know, other people's experience and things, don't often show the nitty-gritty background, you know, the bad days, the bad hair days, the ones where you're just feeling crappy and sick and tired and exhausted and yelling and screaming, the anger and the frustration of life. Often that isn't exposed in its full, beautiful, ugly truth. And so we have created the myth, you know, that, you know, everyone should be happy all the time. Well, the truth is, no, we're not meant to be happy all the time. We're meant to have the whole spectrum of emotions, and it's part of our duty of care then to ourselves and everyone else around us to learn to accept and to work with those emotions that are coming up in the moment. Yes, some of those knee-jerk reactions certainly can be healed, especially if they're really harmful. However, we are meant to have the full spectrum of emotions, and to just think happy is the only one that we should feel, that's an expectation that's very unrealistic. And then, as we know, the gap between expectation and reality, that is what causes us the problems. That causes us the angst. So if you're one to think we should always be happy, and I will admit for quite a few years I did have that growing up, but it just simply isn't true. We are allowed to have bad days. We are allowed to feel yucky. We're allowed to feel the anger, the hurt, the disappointments, all those different emotions that we tend to label as bad. They're not actually bad. They're just another warning signal to say something's not quite right, either in our expectation, our belief system, or something's just not working. And then it's our duty of care, again, take the next step to explore what, why, and how. And then to shift the situation if we can, or our response to the situation, because that's the things that we can actually influence. Okay, so myth number 2, again, according to Ross Harris, the author of The Happiness Trap: if you are not happy, you're defective. Come on, you know. This was certainly a long held belief. You know, I'm so screwed up that I can't be useful to anyone else. I am not worthy of talking to other people. I should just be on the background. No one wants to take notice of me because I've got nothing to offer. No, everyone has something to offer. Everyone has their own experiences and interpretations that we can share, and we can help shift greater perceptions for everyone's betterment. So to think that if you're not happy all the time, that's just another big lie. And how many lies do we tell ourselves? And again, this is part of the process, calling the lie for what it is. Are we expecting ourselves to always be happy, or do we have self-care and compassion and go, you're having a bad day? Everyone does, and that's okay too. Let's get through this day and let's work on maybe fixing the problem, not me, the problem or the situation, to a better outcome, so we can work in that and we can work for a better thing. So it's not necessarily us, because we really are okay. It's just often we've been told that we're not. How many messages as a child in school from our parents, our siblings, have they been telling us that, you're stupid, or you can't do this, you can't do that, or, you should just be lowly, you should be this, you should be that. How many messages have you heard over your adult life, even in different workplaces? Okay, myth number 3. To create a better life, we must get rid of negative feelings. Oh, this is a big one too, isn't it? And the 4th one, because they go hand in hand, you should be able to control what you think and feel. Right, let's just jump off the train now. We know that we can't necessarily control what we think, feel, and do, okay? Because our beliefs creates the thoughts and the emotions trigger beliefs. And then from that, we choose our actions. If we're feeling really bad, then more people are inclined to not eat healthily or exercise, or are more inclined to do self-harm, self-abuse choices, okay? That's a stat. Doesn't mean it has to be. It can mean we can flip it and say, okay, well, on our bad days when we're feeling like this, whatever this is, we can go, okay, I'm going to put myself to bed. When you've got a cold, put yourself to bed, or don't go to work. Don't spread the germs at least. Rest, because that's what the body needs to heal. What if you're having a really fantastic day? What do you want to do then? Celebrate. Sometimes the best thing is actually contain yourself and do the happy dance in your own home, because then you're not going to be threatening other people and possibly getting their reaction if you're not strong enough to accept their challenge back, even when you're happy. So what else can we put to this? Okay. Controlling you think what you're feeling. We can influence them. So, and being a dietitian too, with my interest in gut health and emotions, sometimes it's the food that we choose as well. If we're loading up on foods that are not nutritious, or they're contaminated with lots of chemicals, food colorings, preservatives and things like that, or if we have a gut-bug ratio that is more inclined to react to things like amines and glutamates and fibers and alcohols, then we can literally feel bad. I've seen it and I know it. Anger, rage, anxiety and depression can come food triggers. So if you find that sometimes you're doing all the right things around your emotions, you're doing the clearing work, the support work, the cognitive things, you're putting the strategies in place, and it still seems to be some days uncontrollable, then it is possible that you might have a food reaction. And yes, okay, well, we've always eaten these foods. Well, maybe that's part of the problem too. If you've never tested the food, how would you know if it's actually reacting or not? And I see this a lot, okay? There's a whole list, and I mean a long list, of food symptoms, or food triggered symptoms that one can experience. So if you're finding that your body is feeling weird, and I mean that from the top of your head down to your bottom of your toes, joints, aches, pains, muscles, gut, skin, nose, respiratory, lungs, asthma-like digestion, foggy brain, all those sorts of things, then it can literally be a food interaction. So sometimes we can't control, because it's a chemical imbalance, the chemical triggers in the body that's causing that emotion, okay? Now we have to get rid of negative feelings. I think we need to get rid of negative situations and learn how to self-heal, as in self-nurture the feelings. So when we're having a negative reaction to someone, then why? Are they just being idiots? Or are we actually having a knee-jerk reaction from our past of saying, no, I don't like this. I feel uncomfortable. I feel scared. I feel angry. I feel it's you that's feeling that. So it's your responsibility and mine. It's our responsibility to own up the feelings, and why is that feeling being triggered by the situation or the person. So what we can do with that, learn Literally, there's so many different techniques out there that are simple to use. EFT is one of the easiest ones, okay? Lots of big research, and I can show you how to do EFT, okay? It is part of the program, the Reclaim Me program. It's also in the book. It's in so many different places, and there's lots of really good Australian practitioners now who can teach and also heal using EFT. A healing as in the negative re-jerk reactions that trigger the pain and the discomfort and the emotions. There's also the RTT or the hypnotherapy. There's NLP, there's Reiki, there's meditation, there's guided work, there's healings. There's so many different modalities available these days to help support you to let go the entangled parts that are contributing to the way you feel. And that's the good and the bad and all the thing in between, okay? And the choices that we make from that. Okay, so that's it for me for tonight. I didn't expect that to come out. Okay, so this week, nothing is booked yet as such, but I am definitely going to be doing some in-house, as in closed group, learnings and treatments online. So if you want to be part of that and you want to, as a group setting, get some healing or some meditation done, then you must sign over to the closed group. Or if you're ready to kickstart and maybe start addressing some of the issues that are coming up for you, then the Reclaim Me program is still open for registrations. Okay, that door has not yet closed. So if you want to look at it, I'll put that link also in the information above. Reach out. You know, you don't have to struggle. You don't have to stay stuck and do behaviors or thought patterns that aren't pleasant. Life is to be lived. Life is to be experienced. But it doesn't have to be a dredge, a drain, or a painful experience like every single day, okay? It is like a roller coaster. If we can make it a smooth roller coaster, then that's a much better outcome all around for everyone, not these really wide dips and throws. Okay, guys, have a great night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Okay, ciao.